my paper is part of my PhD research that I'm finalizing this next month, and it's on the experience of the strike in the Atacama Salt Flat that was made by lithium miners. So this is a sort of a spin-off of my general research on the labor regime in the lithium mining in Chile. So first, first of all, maybe you will know this, but it's good to reinforce the energy transition in the global energy transition. It's for now at least absolutely electric vehicle oriented. That means that the most important dimension of the decarbonization of the in electrical matrix is on transportation, mainly vehicles, particular vehicles. So the 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 biggest amount of lithium that is extracted and processed is going to to manufacture batteries for this industry, for the electrical vehicle industry. So here you have some specific charts that reinforce this idea. In this, at the same time, the forecast of the lithium that this industry is demanding and will demand in the future is every time bigger. It grows exponential. So that means that we have at least 20 more years or 15 years of a very important and growing lithium demand oriented by the electrical vehicle industry. And Chile, particularly, is a very important country for this global tendency because Chile has the second biggest is the second biggest producer of lithium, just after Australia. But at the same time, is the where is the biggest lithium resources and extractable resource in the whole world, and it's particularly also a very good quality lithium. Okay, I don't know if you know, but lithium can be extracted mainly by two ways: from the rock in a sort of traditional chopping process, and if not, it's all the other way. It's by evaporation of the brine that is under the salt flats. For example, Australia is the lithium mining, and Chile, and in general the lithium triangle of South America, it's by brine evaporation. And the other thing that is it's important to notice that our I mean by Chile's main buyer of lithium, it's China, or in general Asia, but specifically China by far, you know. So in Chile there are two companies that right now are part of are extracting lithium. One of them is a Chilean multinational called Sokimich that used to be public during the dictatorship, was privatized. And the other one, it's a North American chemical mining company, very, very big also. It's called Albemarle. And well, here you can see on the left hand the general chain of the production of the battery. Chile, of course, stays in the first part of the value added process in the raw mineral, and some Sokimich has a small also plant of lithium hydroxide, but then all the rest part of the refining, the component manufacturing, the cell production, and the battery assembly are made abroad. Also, you can see the amount of gigafactories and how they are projecting to growth and where. So specifically in Chile, and the geography plays a very important role. The site of extraction, it's in the desert. So you can see that in both maps. On the right side, if the salt flat with the community surrounding, and there's where the brine is extracted and evaporated, and then in huge trucks the brine goes to the chemical plants that are near the ocean and near Antofagasta city, where the brine, it separate lithium from the other minerals, and you get the lithium carbonate, and then you have the port of Tocopilla on a little bit in the of Mejillones, sorry, a little bit in the north, where that carbonate is exported to other countries, and as I say, maybe mainly to Asia. So it's in terms of a site, is a huge amount of territory that is where this industry is placed. It is you can say that it's mainly more work intensive, although the chemical process in the chemical plant site, it's a quite refined process in terms of the science, chemical sort of laboratories and stuff, that kind of things. It's not like a huge big machinery or hard machinery. It's more a laboratory process. Okay, so the strike, well, there's an important background, that it's the Chilean union would say system or dynamics, that it is highly fragmented. And when I say highly, it's extremely high. We're talking about more than 11,000 unions in the country, where in general, I'm talking about the general union movement in Chile, not specifically on lithium. But just to give you a general picture, in Chile there's 11,000 unions, and the media percentage of affiliation for every union is no more than 90 or 100 members. So it's extremely fragmented, and as a consequence, these are extremely also weak. It's a weak unionism. The collective bargaining, it's permitted only at a firm level. There is no multi-level or sectoral bargaining, and the strike it has many obstacles and legal constraints. And in the case of the lithium industry, that is not the exception. In these both companies, there's more than 10 unions, different sort of divisions in each one. And the strike that was taken on August, September 2021 was a specific strike in the salt flat, and was made by one specific union, the Union of Albemarle Workers of the salt flat. It is a very important, it was a very important strike, mainly because two reasons. The first one is that it was the first, and up to now, the only strike that it's been made in this industry, in the lithium industry in Chile. And secondly, although this background of fragmentation and weakness and legal constraints and a very strong anti-union policy by the firms, it actually lasts 35 days. And that in Chile, it's something not very common, that a strike can be sustained for so long. So specifically, this strike was made by 135 workers. That's the 50% of the direct workforce of Albemarle in the salt flat. As I say, is the first and only strike in the history up to now. It was highly judicialized during the process of the strike by the company, of course, and there was, I will say, an important involvement of Industrial Global Union through one of their affiliates in Santiago de Chile that actually was part of the strike in the salt flat. My research in this sense, it is that taking into account the company's strong anti-union policy and uniformization, what explains the existence of the strike and its long duration. My methods was mainly in interviews with different actors that were involved in the strike, and also some sort of plant and union community visits during the fieldwork process too. So some theoretical insights. I'm trying to take on Hyman in different periods, especially when he says that it is important to understand the more general dimensions that surround work, like economy, law, politics, education of the community, gender relation, etc. In that sense, Webster in South Africa made some, but also like the importance of communities in the labor conflict in the global South. More recently, Delgast et al. Have a very important contribution in terms of the importance of the role of the new actors, the identity and the legitimacy of to understand the labor conflict. And also George Novak, in a more radical way, he says that it's important to understand, have a perspective of the social formation that it's that ultimately is where the labor conflict is placed. And well, he makes a very strong critiques on the sort of Eurocentrically or ethnocentric way of traditional industrial relations view for this. So taking these theoretical insights, I analyze this strike specifically in how the community was involved. I'm going to jump directly on this. And so there was two stages of community involvement. The first one is a sort of absence of the institution of the community and more involvement of the people from the community. And that's a differentiation that we can make after during the Q&A. But at the same time, these people that are part of the community but are not local authorities, they were present and they were they play a key aspect, a key role in sustaining the strike by supplying food, accommodations, entertainment, shelter, and also involved in some actions like road blocking. So in a way, the community people play a role on what I've called the social reproduction of the strike itself. Then there was a second stage where the community, as I insist, as an institution, as an authority, got involved because of some destruction of the salt flat by the community for trying to get people inside the site in different entrances, like building new entrances. They also tried to use helicopters to bring workers in the company, and that generated a strong impact on birds. So when that happened, the local community authorities got involved because of the environmental issues, and also some NGOs were quite involved, like making pressure to the company and the state to avoid this sort of impact on the site, that it was a consequence of the company's strategy to stop the strike. So very briefly, some reflections. In such fragile and unbalanced industrial relation systems, I think that this case shows us that the relevance of new actors is key. The communities in their social reproduction of the strike in this particular case, and also the NGOs that can make an important role in terms of the legitimacy of the industry and ultimately the impact on trade and profits. Also, that the social formation of the field of dispute also play an indispensable role for a deep understanding of this phenomena, specifically in this case, the indigenous population, the ancestral territory, and the socio-spatial memory, because there was some, also we can talk this after, there was some very strong a very strong memory of humiliation against the company against the community made by the company, that also drives in a way and puts some important aims on the strike. But at the same time, a final reflection is be aware on the romanticization of the community union relation. Sometimes it's not as ideal as we wanted, and so there we must have a critical view on this rather than a romantically or idealistic understanding. Thank you very much.